Hello traders, welcome to your economic calendar update for Thursday the 12th of February 2015. And we had an interesting move on the market this morning. We had the Australian employment conditions show significant downside, and we had employment moving to a 12.5-year high at 6.4%. We had negative 28,000 jobs in the full-time area, and only some of those got part-time work. So the unemployment change is negative 12,000 jobs. That's very significant. It's a big hit, although it shouldn't be surprising because we have had all the indicators in all the economic data that the Australian economy is slowing, wage growth is slowing, and jobs are getting harder and harder to get, especially since we readjust to a different industry away from the mining investment boom that went on. Anyway, I'll talk a bit more about that in the technical because there's been a lot of price action and we could possibly get some more trades out of it if you missed it last night when I posted on Twitter the breakout of the Australian dollar on support as people started already pricing in another rate cut, which I think will happen. Anyway, let's move to what we've got coming up, the Bank of England's quarterly inflation report. Now, this is one of the UK's most important reports because this is where the central bank will signal their monetary policy plans for the next quarter and possibly beyond. So, and right now the market is divided on whether they will receive a rate hike, that's right, in 2015. Because their economy is going quite good, there is a chance that they could actually increase their interest rates. But given the global economic conditions, there's no real push for them to raise rates just yet. So therefore, everyone's quite torn, and the tone of the report will be very important. So therefore, we could get some knee-jerk price reaction, and as people try and figure out exactly what the report means. I wouldn't be surprised if they do come out initially with a negative forecast for the next quarter, but then after that saying, the UK economy will be starting to see inflation instead of deflation. So that could have a knee-jerk reaction in terms of initially selling off the pound and then potentially buyers jumping back in because it's just saying that they're going to wait for a little bit longer and the global concerns are really just slowing the need for them to start pushing up rates to control inflation. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And I will talk more about that in the technical video. It'll be sort of one of my focuses, that and the Australian dollar, given they're the main themes. And we'll see if we can pick up some trades. But that's a very key event coming up. Also, the European meetings are still underway. And as you'll be able to tell from your charts, the euro is still in its range-bound motion. And that's purely because they haven't come up with a deal yet. And the back and forth is still going on. So I've got a trading idea for that, and we'll talk about that in the technical video, so make sure you catch up with that. Later on in the session, we've got some retail sales out of the US, and the market will definitely be looking at initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, and retail sales. These figures here are going to determine whether the US dollar rally is supported by data. If this data comes in weak, we could see a little bit of profit taking from the US dollar, meaning the US dollar JAP and things like that. We are still long the US dollar versus the JAP. We have taken half profits at $1.20 because that was a major psychological level. It's broken through that, come back and test it. So if we get a bounce off it and goes a little bit higher throughout the European session, but we get some weak data, I may just take all the profits and we can bank excess of 180 pips. So we'll wait and see what happens here, but I think that the data is actually going to come in quite flat, and things won't have a major reaction. But we'll wait and see. So that's the data front. We've got a little bit coming up, and the market starts to heat up in towards the end of the week. Friday, we've got a little bit of data as well, and the focus is still going to remain on Europe. So tune into the technical video, and we'll see if we can make some more money today. And until tomorrow, trade well.